He's striking at 255. 28 from 11. What a wonderful free swing from Nicholas Peran.
Yeah, he was talking to you a couple of days back from the dugout, and he said, best start, got out early, and he had a point to prove. He's proving it here today. On the wrong side of the stick is young Miraj.
That run rate was over 9s just moments ago. Suddenly it's come down to 8.1. 39 off 16.
Go for it. He's gone for it. Has he lashed on? Flat, straight down the throat. He's just been brought there, and Mehedi Miraj gets him for the second time. Mehedi has the last law.
Caught by Darren Sammy, and he gives him a little wave and a send-off. Impetuousness of youth. He tried to take it on again and steamroll it. It was there, he reckoned. Hasn't got enough of it, and Big D Sammy. He is Eddie everywhere tonight, is the skipper of the Rajshahi Kings. Peran's little cameo has to come to an end for 28. It is now 101 for 4 here.
At time of stress, they were going great guns. Love the cameo. Just yeah, let's have a look at the shot before the strike, before he lost his wicket. This is the strike. It was pretty high and the distance, and then it was flatter, and just prior to that, we'd seen Darren Sammy moving himself to that position. There's another chap, a shorter person who was in that area, decided that batsman was going to go for it, and he's going to be ready for it, and it paid off. Excellent anticipation from Darren Sammy.
Yeah, once again, you get your best athletes in those pockets. So important. Lovely bit of flight this time, held it back slower. Now 53 from 37 balls. Just dragged a little bit, was just paced a little bit slower through the air from Miraj. Last ball in the over. And he's thinking of 2. Think he'll have to suffice with 1. No, he wants it. Had to hustle. Arafel makes it. It ends the over. It's 104 for 4. Captain Marvel can stay to the end.
Slow ball, he's cleaned him up. That was very, very intelligent bowling. 111 Ks, and that box, look at the elation on the captain's face.
Heck, he's been playing so sensibly, so safely as ever, Mahmudullah, but now he's opened the door for the Rajshahi Kings. Just mention if he could be there to the end. And kudos to the bowler. Wonderful slow one out of the back of the hand. Total deception for Mahmudullah. Says it all for the Kings. And the captain's got to go for 33 off 33. It's 107 for 5 here.
Nice slow ball. He's doing it to a nicety. The bowler, Abul Hasan Raju, boxed the captain Mahmudullah Riyad in the previous delivery.
Tremendous breakthrough, really is. Captain will be furious with himself. Had to be there to the end. And now, whilst you look at the equation, it's only just over 9s, very gettable. 47 from 31, but they have lost their earlier set batsmen, have the Titans.
2 new batsmen in the middle. Slow one, he keeps on bowling those, gets the leading edge, and that's the single. Arif will retain strike at the end of the 15th over. It's 109 for 5.
Sami will continue now here. Very crucial 5 overs.
Yeah, you look at the equation, it's just before that ball it was 46 off 30. Rajshahi Kings, they got six in the last 5 overs, majority due to the effort and the serious hitting of Darren Sammy. But you take away 20 runs from that, you sort of think, okay, we've got half a chance. The ball's in hand, one big over, a couple of overs in the double figures, you had par. At this stage, they're 110. Rajsai Kings were 89.
Yeah, that's the difference they've created. They've created that cushion, but they don't have to go that big like Sammy did in the end. That was very well played. Straight to the fielder, though.
Yeah, straight to the fielder. That goes through its 4. Sets up the over pretty well. So crucial that that was stopped and didn't go through the legs, or it was a misfield. Either side of the man, definitely 4. Yvonne Cooper, long levers. He'll be wanting to hit big 6s.
Hits that wide and strong and beats the fielder. Now that's the boundary they were trying to prevent. But the Titans have managed to squeeze one.
Yeah, I think this is going down to the wire. It's a fantastic shot through the offside. Kevon Cooper is up the odd because of this. It's at the stumps, it's at leg stump. For him to be able to get the bat moving through the line of the delivery and then place it through the offside. An effort by Darren Sammy to prevent it, but it goes for 4. Element of doubt was there. 6 off at a ball to go. Down the ground, well fielded. It's an excellent over if you look at the grand scheme of things. And the spell for Apu is 115 for 5.
Timed their chase very well. Haven't really seen them going crazy all through their inning. Just picked on the bowlers they want to score against. Good Yorker. That's the one. That's the one that works at this stage of the game.
Yeah, that's Ahmed Sami at his best. Saw this in the previous game when, oh, look at that. Yeah, there's no way he's getting under that. Let's go down the wicket, make it a full toss, and maybe try and get a ramp going. And still, that could be still dangerous for you and the wicket. They will go flying. Sometimes it comes off. Dilshan has done it over the years.
Low one. He's beaten that fielder. That will be a boundary. You have square leg and fine leg in the circle. You ball that leg stop fish and pull. You pay.
What a shot. Excellent shot here. Farouk. He's missed his length just marginally. He's gone right across onto off stump. Made it into a full toss, as we spoke about. And he beats the man. There's no protection. Much needed. 9 off the over now with the ball to go.
Yeah, that's good batting. He eyed those fielders inside the circles. He's dragged that from outside the off stump. You can have as many as you want in the deep on the offside. He's going to improvise like that. Results will come his way. That space. End of the over. 9 gone. 124 for 5.
It's a good ball. He hasn't created a dot ball for himself. He's created a single. But yes, excellent. And as the captain, this is like the dilemma, because you get a good ball, you can't stop the single or stop the runs from flowing. Because you can't get the man too close to the bat, because it creates so many angles in the field for the boundary.
Right hold up, because now another mini meeting going on. Wants a few changes in the field for the new batsman on strike.
Just that moment of changing the field, having a discussion, sort of resets the batsman's mind. It's not, you're no longer rushing him. You're giving him that little bit of extra, a deep breath to think about where he wants to score.
Just a single there. Captain Sammy standing pretty wide at mid-off, wideish mid-off. So single on the first, a single each the first 2 balls. So it's 29 now required. Again, that excellent length. Not allowing the batsmen to swing their arms. Not enough width as well.
Given the responsibility of bowling at the death, and he's executing. That's a better Yorker. Can't do much with that. Rotate the strike. Get the other man on strike. The taller individual, Devon Cooper. Looked very calm and collected.
How many runs as a batting side would you like to have in the last over to chase? Because they're taking it right down to the wire. As less as possible. But what's the maximum you can afford? Scoops that one. Doesn't go anywhere. Just a single. Excellent over that. Just 5 from it. 129 for 5.
And 4 men in front of square and a man behind. Edgenan, he's gone! Looking for the big shot. They asked him to hit in front of the wicket. He obliges. He finds the outside edge and it's held. Umar Akmal, Muhammad Sami, the Rajsai Kings are in the game. Cooper has to go.
You know, that could have gone anywhere. At this stage of the game, you get these kind of edges, but the keeper has done very well. He's made sure he grabs it. It's gone right into that right glove at that pace. Could have cost them 4 runs, but this is a wicket. Umar Akmal has kept his eyes on it. And that's a wicket, so that long wait. Have a look at that. Cooper goes for 14, 129 for 6. Mid off inside the circle. Single. So now he's got Ariful on strike. Can he get that big hit that's required?
As you said, that this could have gone anywhere. It was a length ball. He's gone and he swung the kitchen sink and he's found the outside edge. A meter of Umar Akmal, that's 4, but he does well. Good movement. It sticks to the right glove and Muhammad Sami gets the wicket. Look at that. The captain's happy.
Even the comparison at this stage, that just 1 run behind.
Cricket today. Captains are with me. Mashrafe Mortaza for Bangladesh, welcome to you. Kate Williamson, Merry Christmas to you as well. And also a big Merry Christmas to our ICC match referee, which is Chris Broad. And Dio is our ANZ coin toss kit. It's also his birthday today. So there you go, you can hand the coin over now, mate. Right, Kay, you've won the toss and you're going to have a bat. Why is that?
Looks like a good surface, nice and hard. So certainly hoping it warms up, a bit of swing later on for our seamers, and you know, if we can get a good start, get a good score on the board, and put a bit of pressure on for the second innings.
It's always been known there was a good chasing side, New Zealand. So you just don't. It's good batting surface, and you just think runs on the board.
Yeah, I think so. We've batted first here quite a few times as well. So look, it's important we look to implement our plans, get a good start, and hopefully get a good score on the board.
And I guess this is a pretty important series, and this one international in particular, coming off what was a disappointing series against Australia.
Yeah, for sure. It's important we start well, but we want to focus on what we can control, and that is our plans and the style of cricket that we want to play. So that's what we want to see throughout the series.
Neil Broom comes into the side. Do you like the looks of the balance of the side with a specialist like him in there?
Yeah, obviously brings that experience, being sort of around the group for quite some time in terms of playing international cricket in and out a little bit. So a great opportunity for him to come back in the side with that experience. And also today we're playing Tim Southey, Trent Bolt and Lockie Ferguson for our seamers.
And how the lads enjoy yesterday?
Yeah, good day. Pretty relaxed. Obviously day before the game, so a bit of a lunch together and then rest up for today.
All right, good luck.
Yes, thank you.
Well, Mashrafe, you're going to have to bowl first. I'd imagine you're probably happy enough with that?
Yeah, obviously, you know, we like to anyway field first, you know, the first match in here for us. So, yeah, we're pretty happy.
You had a disappointing game. We're beaten in the warm-up game by New Zealand selection. Was that just maybe caught out by the new conditions straight up?
Yeah, obviously, it's a bit new condition for us as well. I mean, yes, last 2 years we're playing at home, and now is a different challenge for us. Hopefully, we'll cope up nicely.
Well, you completely own New Zealand when you play them at home in Bangladesh, but unfortunately haven't beaten them in New Zealand. So what are the areas of your game you've got to get better if you're going to beat
One of the best team in the world now. And obviously, I guess if you want to win against them, I think the three department we have to do well. I mean, as the bowling, batting and fielding side. So.
Well, an interesting decision to spend about 10 days in Sydney and build up to coming over here to New Zealand. Why was that?
Look, we had a BPL 1 month going there, and just try to adjust everything. That time we just can set up the Sydney, and obviously we got 7 days in here. So I think it's good enough for us.
All right, good luck.
Thanks.
All the best. Well, New Zealand has won the toss, and they're going to bat first out here.
Yeah, good move from Kane Williamson, that is for sure. That is the lineups for today's match. Martin Guptill, Tom Latham, they'll have the work to do early on for New Zealand. Kane Williamson, Neil Broom gets another opportunity in the black shirt. Neesham and Munro, the all-rounders through that middle order. Luke Ronke gets another chance in this New Zealand lineup. Mitchell Santner, Tim Southey. Great to see Lockie Ferguson there and Trent Bolt. Now for Bangladesh, it's all about the bowlers first up, but when their turn comes to bat, Tamim Iqbal and Imrul Kayes will be very crucial for them at the top of the order. The middle order is very strong. Mahmudullah, Shakib Hasan, Mushfiqur, Rahim, who is the keeper batsman, also Mustafizur, Rahman back at the bowling crease. Look out for him early on.
Well, the conditions out here are beautiful. It's a beautiful pitch, as you'd expect when you come to Hagley over on Boxing Day. Just quickly, before we get down and have a look at it and understand why Kane Williamson has won the toss and batted first, the boundaries, and we've got some big ones, close to 79 metres out towards the east. The way out towards the west is the smaller side, around the 60-65 mark. From the middle of the pitch, 68 metres to 70. So all in all, very good boundary size at Hagley. Let's get down and have a look and understand why Kane Williamson has won the toss and batted first. First thing that you notice actually is actually got a white look, which is very, very different to the test matches we play here. A real thick covering of grass, but it's beautiful and fine and nice and thin. So the ball should just be able to kiss off, but as we'd expect, it's nice and hard. You'd always give it the tap and you expect that. Put the hand on it and it's nice and warm, which is a good sign when you're looking to bat first. Maybe surprising. I thought maybe the new ball will do a little bit, and maybe the pace and bounce will certainly suit the new bowlers. But once you get through that, as you'd expect here at Hagley, it's going to be an excellent batting pitch, and I expect New Zealand would want something close to 300 with the way the conditions are. Big outfield, fast, overhead conditions are starting to burn off. Brilliant for cricket out here in the middle.
G'day everyone. All right, now it looks as though it may be a little bit overcast here, but that may not stay this way. Let's take a look at the weather and what it is doing for today. So as I said, cloudy. It's 15 degrees at the moment. We've got a nor'easterly at 16 kilometres an hour. The humidity is 78% and it does feel kind of muggy around. Later on though, we're expecting it to pop out, the sun to come out and say hello. 20 degrees would be great. Nor'easterly continues up to 20 kilometres an hour, that wind, and that humidity dropping just a little bit. Now the crowd is looking good in here at Hagley Oval. Let's see where we head to next in this Bangladesh series. So we start here at Hagley Oval, of course, then we move to Nelson for the next ODI. We're there for 2 ODIs. It's going to be great. We are basically coming with you Kiwis all around the holiday destinations, all the hot spots. We head into the T20s. We've got 3 T20s. We're going to Napier, then we're spending 2 T20s at Mount Maunganui, and this series finishes off with 2 tests. We go to Wellington, and then we finish off at Hagley Oval here in Christchurch. The perfect way to finish. Now, as I said, there's a few people out here today. There are still some tickets available if you want to get down and join us. Not many, so I'd hurry up if I were you. It's going to be a fantastic day. When we come back, we've got Simon Dill and Atta Ali Khan joins him. We'll see you soon. New Zealand batting first here at Hagley Oval.
Bangladesh Tour of New Zealand. 26th December 2016 to 24th January 2017. Live on Channel 9. Brought to you by গুড লাক স্টেশনারি। নাটক, মানুষের গল্প, মানুষের জীবনের গল্প। জীবন কখনো লড়াইয়ের, কখনো হারবার। বিবর্ণ মানুষের পথ তখন শুধুই অস্ত্রদার, প্রতিশোধের প্রতিক্রিয়া। মানুষ ভিন্ন, জীবনবোধ ভিন্ন, প্রকাশটাই ভিন্ন। কেউ এসে জীবন রাঙিয়ে দিয়ে যায়, আবার রংহীন করে দেয় কারো স্বপ্ন। একাকিত্বে বিষাদে ডুবে যায় মানুষ, আবারও সে স্বপ্নে রং লাগায়, আশা জাগায় কেউ কেউ। গল্পের চরিত্র হয়ে মানুষ জন্মায়, বরং জীবনের গল্পই মানুষকে দাঁড় করায় অতি সাধারণ, সাধারণ অথবা অসাধারণ হিসেবে। জীবনের গল্প তাই নানা ঘটনার, নানা রঙের। ওয়ালটন নিবেদিত নাটক প্রতি শুক্রবার রাত 9:30
আমি এই দেশে এই সমাজে জন্মেছি বলেই শুধু এই দেশেরই এই সমাজেরই নয়, আমি সকল দেশের সকল মানুষের।
তোমার নামের গান অনুষ্ঠানটি দেখবার জন্য আপনি সকলকে আমন্ত্রণ।
আকাশে হেলান দিয়ে পাহাড় ঘুমায়,
সাগরের মতো তার বিস্তার।
কাজী নজরুল ইসলামের সৃষ্টিকর ও জীবন দর্শন নিয়ে আপন জুয়েলার্স প্রেজেন্টস তোমার নামের গান, পাওয়ার্ড বাই অ্যাপোলো ইস্পাত। দেখবেন শনিবার সকাল 9:05। 1 month of rivalry, 3 one-days, 3 T20s and 2 test matches. After 2 years, Tigers are going to hunt outside of their den. Bangladesh tour of New Zealand. Keep an eye on this epic tour. Live from 26 December 2010 to 24 January 2017 on Channel 9. Brought to you by Good Luck Stationery.
Is the wider Canterbury area, outskirts of Christchurch City. You can ski, surf within the space of about 2 hours, ride the tram right through the centre of the city. Pick up a very good cup of coffee too. I had one this morning myself down in Merivale. Botanical gardens look lovely right around the city. There are wonderful sights and sounds, and one of the most picturesque in the heart of the city is Hagley Oval. New Zealand up against Bangladesh, the first of 3 one-day internationals. We are here in Christchurch, and a good time to introduce our Bangladesh voice for the series. Welcome along to New Zealand. Merry Christmas too. Ali Khan, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Merry Christmas. Great to be back.
Yeah, very nice to be back, and nice to have Bangladesh back on our shores as well, Atta. Now, this Bangladesh side, they haven't had a lot of luck in New Zealand. 13 times New Zealand have played them here. They haven't won a game. What can turn around and what can make Bangladesh turn around on this tour?
Just look back at what they've done in the recent past, especially back home. I know the conditions are different back home, but the winning percentage has been really good. Against England, they beat Pakistan, then they beat South Africa and India at home. So I think they can take a lot of things from that time when they played some really good cricket. But it's going to be a tough challenge, a big challenge for Bangladesh to ensure that they can come back and do what they've done, what they did back home. And if they can do that, they might just pull up a surprise here.
Running through this side, Tamim, Iqbal, Imrul is at the top. What do you make of the Bangladesh side lineup today?
I think it's a very good side. Mashrafe, good to have him back at number 3. Mahmudullah back-to-back hundreds in the World Cup. Shakib Hasan number 5, top all-rounder, and he needs to come up good with the bat. Mushfiqur Rahim might come up the order because if they consume a lot of overs early off order, he might be coming at number 4 or 5. Then there is Rahman, who can be a very dangerous player. Yes, but all eyes will be on Mustafizur Rahman, who I feel is back and really good to have him back in the squad with these 3 seamers. In these conditions, they can be a very high impact player.
9 months, a long time out of the game, Atta, for Mustafizur Rahman, but I mean, he showed what he can do at that T20 World Cup. He is world class, and New Zealand are going to have to be very wary.
Yeah, and especially in these conditions, I think it can be a really good bowler to have in your team. But then again, you talk about 9 months, So it's been a good long layoff for him. But he's come back and played the warm-up match where he picked up 2 wickets. And the team management feels that he's good enough to be back in the squad. Bangladesh do need him, and they need him to pick up early wickets. That's when things can change things for Bangladesh.
Yeah, he's been a sensation around the world, has Mustafizur Rahman, in a very short career. What about a man that they need? Bangladesh certainly needs Shakib Hasan to perform on this tour. Senior player, so worldly experienced.
Yeah, one of the top all-rounders in world cricket for such a long time, and he likes to play under pressure. Former captain, and it's the kind of the team combination that has made Bangladesh move forward. The win percentage, as I spoke earlier, has been very good, but you need someone like Shakib Hasan to come up really good with the bat and the ball, because he's a class act.
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining us now. We'll hear from you throughout the series in commentary, and wonderful to have you back in New Zealand. Even if it was a day late, didn't realise that he had to have a passport to get through Australia, a visa to get through Australia. Sorry, and a man who is born in Australia and doesn't need a visa to get back there. Scott Stubbs joins us. And,
you had to bring that up.
Yeah, I did have to bring that up. Morning to you, Scotty. Welcome along, and Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. And it's good to get
New Zealand up against Bangladesh. This is not a series that New Zealand can take lightly, Scott.
No, this is a series where Bangladesh have been on the improve for the last 2 or 3 seasons. Particularly difficult, we know, at home. The challenge for them is away. It's all about their form away from home. They beat England and back at home. Big challenge, I think, and a big test for them this summer.
All right, the New Zealand side for today's game. It's got a familiar look about it at the top, but there are some new names to come through that middle order and guys making comebacks.
Yeah, I think it's all about the middle order for New Zealand. We saw Jimmy Neesham take his opportunity in Australia, batting in that number 4 spot. Neil Broom, a bit of a surprise coming back into the side, but what that says to me is that they're not quite sure about the next wave of batsmen coming through. So therefore, go back to the experience. They know what they're getting with Neil Broom. So a bold selection, but also a conservative one nonetheless.
And another thing that lots been talked about, the senior players stepping up. 2 of them there, each side of Lockie Ferguson, Tim Southee and Trent Boult. New Zealand need those guys to be on song.
Yeah, I think that's the big loss of Brendan McCullum, and it is the skipper and the leadership that he has. They need more, particularly in that top order, helping out Guptill and Williamson. But that leadership from Southee, even Ronke coming back into the side, I think is an important facet. And Trent Boult, of course, as well.
You think that's why New Zealand have gone for Luke Ronke and for Neil Broom, simply because they are experienced, and to bring young guys into the side when the skipper needs some help wouldn't have been a good option?
Yeah, I think Luke Ronke coming back is similar to Neil Broom. They just feel the Saifits, the Blundells aren't quite ready. And with that in mind, we'll go back and we'll bring him in as a stopgap to some degree, because we know what we're going to get. Now, Luke Ronke's form hasn't been great over the last 12 months. But he went back to Wellington, started scoring runs again, so he comes back in with a semblance of confidence, and therefore Kane Williamson can rely on him, not only with his leadership and his advice throughout the fielding, but the fact that he's now starting to hit the ball in the middle.
One day as for a start, then what would be a success for New Zealand? 3-0, would 2-1 be okay?
Well, 2-1 will be okay because they win the series, but I still think that they need to win this 3-0. They need to put that disappointment of the Australian series behind them, get back on the horse if you like, and they should be traditions.
All right, Scott, thanks very much for your time. I look forward to your commentary throughout the day. All right, the TAB are with us once again this year. What do the odds say? What have the bookmakers got to say about today's game? Mark Stafford is sideline.
Thanks, Dolly, and I've been asking all these people who've been queuing up since 7 o'clock this morning to get these front row seats. Good on them, I say. Nuggety old Cantabrians. Series score is where I'm going, because all the money's going on New Zealand to win the series. So to make a little bit of money, pick the exact score. 3-0, $1.90.
I know the conditions are different back home, but the winning percentage has been really good. Against England, they beat Pakistan, then they beat South Africa and India at home. So I think they can take a lot of things from that time when they played some really good cricket. But it's going to be a tough challenge, a big challenge for Bangladesh to ensure that they can come back and do what they've done, what they did back home. And if they can do that, they might just pull up a surprise here.
Running through this side, Tamim and Iqbal and Al-Qaid at the top. What do you make of the Bangladesh side line-up today?
I think it's a very good side. Mashrafe, good to have him back at number 3. Mahmudullah back-to-back 100s in the World Cup. Shakib number 5, top all-rounder, and he needs to come up good with the bat. Mushfiqur might come up the order because if they consume a lot of overs early off the order, he might be coming at number 4 or 5. And there is Rahman, who can be a very dangerous player. Yes, but all eyes will be on Mustafizur Rahman. Huai will be is back and really good to have him back in the squad with these three teamers in these conditions. They can be a very high impact player.
9 months, a long time out of the game after for Mustafizur Rahman, but how many shows he can do at that T20 World Cup. He is world class, and New Zealand are going to have to be very wary.
Yeah, and especially in these conditions, I think he can be a really good bowler to have in your team. But then again, you talked about 9 months, so it's been a good long layoff for him. But he's come back and played the warm-up match where he picked up 2 wickets. And the team management feels that he's good enough to be back in the squad. Bangladesh do need him, and they need him to pick up early wickets. That's when things can change things for Bangladesh.
Yeah, he's been a sensation around the world as Mustafizur Rahman in a very short career. What about a man that they need? Bangladesh certainly need him for a senior player.
One of the top all-rounders in world cricket for such a long time, and he likes to play under pressure. Former captain, and it's the kind of team combination that has made Bangladesh move forward. The win percentage I spoke earlier has been very good, but you need someone like Shakib to come up really good with the bat and the ball, because he's
So thank you so much for joining us now. We'll hear from you throughout the series in commentary, and wonderful to have you back in New Zealand. Even if it was a day late, didn't realise that he had to have a passport to get through Australia, a visa to get through Australia. Sorry, and a man who is born in Australia and doesn't need a visa to get back. He's got some joints. And
you had to bring that up.
Yeah, I did have to bring it up. Morning to you, Scotty. Welcome. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. And it's good to get
build up against Bangladesh. This is not a New Zealand can take lightly, Scott.
No, this is a series where Bangladesh have been on the improve for the last 2 or 3 seasons. Particularly difficult, we know, at home. The challenge for them is away. It's all about their form away from home. They beat England and they're back at home. Big challenge, I think, and a big test for them this summer.
All right, the New Zealand side for a game. It's got a familiar look about it at the top, but there are some new names to come through that middle order and guys making comebacks.
Yeah, I think it's all about the middle order for New Zealand. We saw Jimmy Neesham take his opportunity in Australia, batting in that number 4 spot. Neil Broome, a bit of a surprise coming back into the side, but what that says to me is that they're not quite sure about the next wave of batsmen coming through. So therefore, go back to the experience. They know what they're getting with Neil Broome. So a bold selection, but also a conservative one nonetheless.
And another thing that lots of been talking about, the senior players stepping up, 2 of them there, each side of Lockie Ferguson, Tim Southey and Trent Bolt. New Zealand need those guys to be on song.
Yeah, I think that's the big loss of Brendan McCullum, and it is the skipper and the leadership that he has. They need more, particularly in that top order, helping out Gupton and Williamson. But that leadership from Southey, even Ronke coming back into the side, I think is an important factor. And Trent Bolt, of course, as well.
You think that's why New Zealand have gone for Luke Ronke and for Neil Broome, simply because they are experienced? To bring young guys into the side when the skipper needs some help wouldn't have been a good option.
Yeah, I think Luke Ronke coming back is similar to Neil Broome. They just feel the Saikats, the Blundells aren't quite ready. And with that in mind, we'll go back and we'll bring him in as a stopgap to some degree, because we know what we're going to get. Now, Luke Ronke's form hasn't been great over the last 12 months. But he went back to Wellington, started scoring runs again, so he comes back in with a semblance of confidence, and therefore Kane Williamson can rely on him, not only with his leadership and his advice throughout the fielding, but the fact that he's now starting to hit the ball in the middle.
1 day is for a start, then what success for New Zealand? 3-0, would 2-1 be okay?
Well, I'll say because they're in the series, but I still think that they need to win this 3-0. They need to put that disappointment of the Australian series behind them, get back on the horse if you like, and they should be terrific.
All right, Scott, thanks very much for your time. I look forward to your commentary throughout the day. All right, TAB's here. What are the odds say? What are the bookmakers got game? Mark Stafford is sideline.
Thanks, Dolly, and I've been asking all these people who've been queuing up since 7 o'clock this morning to get these front row seats. Good on them, I say, nuggety old Cantabrians. Series score is where I'm going. All the money's going on New Zealand to win the series. So to make a little bit of money, pick the exact score. 3-0, $1.90.
we're all set for the first match in this series. Just confirming the teams for New Zealand will be batting first. They won the toss. Martin Guptill in great form. Tom Latham needing to find some form. Kane Williamson and Neil Broome comes in to provide some real balance to that top order. Then Neesham and Monroe. We will wait to see what order they may come into bat. Luke Ronke makes his comeback in and out of the team somewhat. So that's the batting. And you look lower down on the list. The ones who come under pressure, and I think the skipper as well, Mashrafe Mortaza, man with tons of experience. He's been
Australia, but they have won 21 of their last 27 one-day internationals at home. Pretty formidable on their own patch. Bangladesh will be eager to get amongst them. Looked like a good toss to win. Both skippers probably going to bat first. It was Kane Williamson who decided to have first use of a good surface. Mashrafe Mortaza's one-day international career, 167 matches, 216 wickets. Provides some lower order hitting as well. But Martin Guptill was one of the form batsmen in 2016, leading run scorer in one-day internationals. Had a very good World Cup. And I think we can get out there and join our commentary team.
Just a little bit of movement through the air. Not much. Hint of swing.
Yeah, just look to see whether the ball will swing in these conditions and whether the pace and bounce will be there.
Some nervous umpires out there today as well. Oh, nipping back. Probably bouncing a little high. Yeah, Wayne Knight on one-day international debut, the New Zealand umpire.
Yeah, he will enjoy that. Mashrafe Mortaza, a bit of a movement coming back into the right-hander. Going to ensure that they start well. White new ball under these conditions. We expect to move around a bit, and that's the reason why he has to man in the slip scoring. That's a good move from
enough to put a little bit of doubt into Martin Guptill's mind because he likes to hit the ball so pure. Tom Latham, he's been in good form in the domestic 2020 competition.
Very important game for Tom Latham. I wouldn't say his place is under threat just yet in the one-day game, but a decent score would. Neesham and Monroe. We will wait to see what order they may come into bat. Luke Ronke makes his comeback in and out of the team somewhat. So that's the batting. And you look lower down on the
Once Australia, they have won 21 of the last 27.
The challenge for Bangladesh is to ensure that they come back and come back strongly, especially in overseas conditions. They had a lovely time back home. Imrul, the left-hand opener, looking to score some runs here.
underway for Latham. This runs off the bat. There's some interest from Mashrafe here because the ball was pitching on about middle and he's played around his pad quite a lot there, Latham. Bowlers always get excited when they see a batsman do that. Just
sometimes forget that you're allowed to hit the ball. They'll look for two here. That's running away quite quickly on the south. And boy, it's quick, isn't it? It flies over the turf. The leg buys, 4 of them. 6 from the first over.
Always nice way to get off the mark. And then to be able to pick up a boundary in that first over just to please us. Just timing, and you're right, Mark. Gee, it ran away. Off the leg by. It's a lovely sized cricket ground. Very good looking batting lineup. A lot more balanced than maybe we saw in Australia. Williamson and Broome, specialist batters 3 and 4. You got Neesham and Munro. Wouldn't be surprised to see Munro bat 5. And I like Ronke being back in the side with the power.
It's looked like it's going to be Mustafizur Rahman. 26 wickets. He's had such a lovely start to his career. Top wicket takers in the IPL. Had a surgery, long layoff, 9-month layoff. Really want him to be 100% fit. That's the why he's been selected in the 11, and straight away white ball being tossed up after the very first over. Interesting to see how he goes around. These conditions should suit him, definitely. And keep a close eye on him. He's a wicket taker, can be a dangerous customer here.
No!
What you really need from your bowlers, especially the players who survive on the subcontinent, you want to find that bowler who hits the wicket hard, that they can direct the ball hard into the wicket, get it on the seam, not skid the ball. It's not about moving in the air, it's about getting it into that wicket on a good length and getting the ball to stand up on the batsman. It's something New Zealand bowlers do well, it's something New Zealand batsmen are used to facing. But you've got to have that type of bowler in your side. If they skid, if they skid the ball along looking for just swing, easy pickings in New Zealand.
Yeah, as a batsman, you need to have a really close look at the wrist position, especially for Mustafizur Rahman. Likes to cut the ball. Really good to supple wrist, ensures that he can take the ball away from the right-hander. Has been the surprise factor for Mustafizur. Conventional seam position at the moment from him.
Yeah.
Good checking, good checking. Come on!
It's a good turnout today. There's still a few tickets and a few spaces there if you want to come down, if you're in the Canterbury region. It looks very good. It's looking full. It's looking a picture. Looking worthy of a Boxing Day.
Well, they've locked the Boxing Day in there, haven't they, Mark? It's theirs. They own it. If you ask anyone around here, and rightly so at the moment. Their crowds have been fantastic for the last 3 years. Come out and support this fixture. And the ground looks brilliant. They'll be keen for a really entertaining game. They've been spoiled. Hagley, especially by one Brendan McCullum. Test cricket. Mustafizur, his slower ball as well, and we'll get to see it throughout the series. Martin Guptill, amazing form he found in Sheffield Hagley in Australia. That 114 was one of the best innings I've seen him play in his career. His timing, his execution, but the clarity he looked like he played with was there. He'll be wanting to continue this on. I think we'll have more confidence today too in his middle order. I the balance that they have.
He'll also be wanting to put pressure on a newer, younger player like Mustafizur. Maybe Mashrafe, who's been around the scene for a long time, you'll just play him very much on his merits. He'll be positive, Martin Guptill. But when you get a young player in foreign conditions, strategically to go after them, knock them off their length, sap the confidence as fast as they can, definitely will be in Guptill's mind. Watchful at the moment, though.
Yeah, they will be watchful because the only time that Mustafizur had played against New Zealand was in the T20 World Cup, where he picked up 5 wickets. The first time Mustafizur is playing a one-day international against New Zealand in these conditions. Yeah, we mentioned about the slower delivery. It's the cutter also. He bowls a little bit quicker, fast off-spinner. A leg spinner if you're a right-hander. Well, he's certainly enjoying himself there. So it's important to have a closer look. It's been a good over.
Good run, very good one. He realised he'd weighted that nicely and it hadn't come off the bat. The minute he'd beaten the bowler, he was set off for a single. Good positive running, 8 without loss.
Martin Guptill is known for his power, so mid on and mid off can stand quite deep. So there's runs in front of the fielders as well. It's a good way to just pick up a single and get down the other end, and as a batsman you like to face as many deliveries as you can early on.
Great lesson that for a young cricketer as well, is that the gaps aren't between fieldsmen, they can be in front of them as well. So often when you come out to bat, you see the gaps and you try to propel the ball into those gaps, and if it's not working, you're just hitting the fieldsman all the time. The drop and run, a very, very handy skill to have.
Yeah, especially when it's difficult to rotate the strike as a batsman, you tend to look to rotate, to pick up quick singles. Play with soft hands, crossover.
Goes after that one, just picks it up on length, and he's hit that all the way. I don't even think he timed that particularly well.
Pick up the singles, but you can also pick up boundaries. Martin Guptill, it's into the arc that he likes to do against the new ball. Back the length. Yeah, the bat spun in the hands. Not the biggest of boundary out towards that side. What it shows is there's confidence already in the surface that Martin Guptill is batting on. Medium pace, medium bounce. First sign of aggression.
Oh, well stopped, but he couldn't get the throw in. A little bit of hesitation. There might have been a yes-no in there in the calling, and that could have turned nasty very quickly.
Well, he's had trouble in the past with his injuries, trying to do similar kind of stuff. Yes and no, and then a dive to his right. Could have been a much better if he had let it go to the fielder. Could have grabbed in and shied the stump. Very difficult for any bowler to come and pick it up in that position and throw it back into the stumps.
Yeah, because he was trying to organise it, wasn't he, in his hands, and he just couldn't get it in the throwing hand.
I think Martin Guptill called yes and then went, oh no, what have I done? But I better keep going.
I definitely heard a no there somewhere. It was definitely a no of some description. Yeah, I just couldn't get it. Not a bad stop. Just couldn't get it in that right throwing arm.
An example again of that seam that's going to be there with that new ball. It just grips in the grass. It's a very white looking pitch. But that's come back. A nice bounce too. Latham nearly lost his bat. Gee, that nearly could have flung onto the stumps.
Certainly something in for the newer ball bowlers. A bit of movement off the seam. So you need to show a little bit more discipline. Yes, it's been already hit for a 6 in this over.
pretty even paced. In fact, at the moment the pitch looks a tad on the slow side, so maybe the volume of grass on it is just grabbing the ball as opposed to allowing it just to slide off. Airily, but in the gap, and that'll run away comfortably for 4. 19 without loss.
There are talkers, and there are doers. Talkers talk. Doers do things that get talked about.
He's a wicket taker. Can be a dangerous customer here.
Talkers think about the future. Doers are building it now. Talkers can imagine the feeling. Doers know the feeling. With fuel costs from 2p per mile, the 100% electric Nissan Leaf.
Good looking lineup this for New Zealand. Pretty well balanced as well. Neil Broom, the veteran of provincial cricket in New Zealand, comes in, will bat at 4. So a specialist batter there replacing Taylor, and then Munro and Neesham, that could swap around, and Ronke back into the side. Firepower towards the end of the innings. Right, how's Guptill going to approach the second over on the left armour? With aggression. Can't get it through.
Good boundary by Latham last over. Nice timing. Certainly an even pace pitch. There can be bounce, and I think the extra pace of someone like Ferguson will enjoy it, but it just shows at the moment. Shows one thing, if you get through the outfield, it's going to run away for 4.
Attacking and smashing him straight for 4. This could be an interesting over indeed.
We've already seen the mindset that Martin Guptill is in at the moment. Stand and deliver, just a little bit wide, just over the top of the infield, no problem whatsoever. Smash it at 4 on the boundary. Good use of the feet as well. We saw him doing that against Mashrafe Mortaza, and he's done this again, and that is against Mustafizur.
Will he go again? No. Well bowled. Just changed it up a little bit. Kept it tighter.
Yeah, as a new ball bowler to Martin Guptill, if you are not swinging the ball and not getting any seam, then he thinks, right, there's more the cutter, where he gets more the side of the hand, so the seam is nearly at square leg. So it's a change-up that as a batsman you don't really notice.
Respectful again, and that was the slower one, beautifully bowled too. 112k, and importantly on a good tight line, providing no width or room for Guptill, asking him to make all the play. So good comeback from 2 balls after the attacking shot over the top.
Just rolled out the fingers. You'll see a lot of this. Look at the release. Very hard to pick up, and the seam is still very straight. But Guptill did well to adjust. They would have spoken a lot about this.
Yeah, the problem for the batsman is that he comes in with the similar kind of action. You really don't see him changing his action. And then the roll of the wrist, and then the slower delivery. That's what he has been good at in the recent past.
It's a good comeback. Really good comeback from the bowler here, because I thought Guptill was going to go after him, but he hasn't allowed him. He hasn't allowed him to free his hands without having to do something. important ball, this one. Just gives the soft single. Well done. Well bowled. Just 5 from it. 24 without loss. It's a good start by New Zealand, just early stages, but they haven't been overly aggressive. Still managed to get themselves away to run a ball. 4 from 4. Still feeling out the nature of the surface at the moment, I feel, the New Zealanders. Maybe not coming onto the bat as fast as they may have expected. They won the toss, batted first. Good stop, findings up. Cuts it to 1.
Oh, I think it's a surface mark that once you get in, you get the confidence. It's going to be very, very hard to retain. New Zealand have been able to pick up the ones in amongst the boundaries. That's the reason why they got off to such a good start. And already they've pushed fielders out on the boundary. More of a defensive mindset, just the one slip. And after the first over, there was one that seemed maybe Bangladesh thought we could have an opportunity for some early wickets, but now they'll need early wickets. The only way with the New Zealand batting lineup to be able to retain and reduce them from scoring big will be to constantly bring a new batsman out to the pitch.
As a bowler, you want to create pressure. You talk about picking up wickets. At the moment, New Zealand cruising along 25 of just 4.2 overs. Both of these batsmen, especially Gupta, looking in good nick. And to create pressure, you need to start producing the dot deliveries. You've got to make sure that you bowl in a consistent line and then ensure it's difficult for scoring.
Yeah, I suppose the difference is that back home in Bangladesh, you've got to make use of the new ball, and then batting can get harder as the innings goes on because the pitch wears and the ball gets soft, whereas here in New Zealand, this will stay the same all day, and actually batting gets easier. You've got to make use of the new ball from a bowling point of view, because once it loses its sign and slowly softens, it actually becomes better to bat on through the overs of 20, 30 and 40.
He's bowling with fine leg up to Mark Guptill, and hasn't caused a line change at all, because he's still been allowing Guptill to work it behind square on the leg side, which is dicing with danger.
Big development of Martin Guptill's game is he's a big boundary hitter, Mark, as we know, but when he starts scoring off the balls in between those boundaries, the strike rate stays up.
Oh, look at that. That's come back. It's come back sharply. It's done everyone.
Lovely delivery. Beat the bat. Beat the keeper. It's gone over to the boundary. Have a look. Came back quite sharply, didn't it? Just missing it. The off stump by Awiska. Lovely delivery. Bounce as well.
Seemed to keep swinging, didn't it? So tough for the keeper. That's one of those ones as a batsman you just hope as you play a miss, you're thinking you're going to hear that rattle.
Over the bowl, 31 without loss.
Certainly need that later on as the sun comes out. New Zealand won the toss, elected to bat first, surprising some people. Had a good start between Guptill and Latham. Strong middle order. Luke Ronke back on the side. And Neil Broom, debut 6 years ago.
Now, this is a chance, not an easy one. It's gone very high, and safely in the hands. Well done. Guptill goes. Mustafizur has him.
The slower delivery does the trick. It's a very good comeback. Made the batsman to go through the shot, and before he realized it was a slow one, he didn't pick it up. Lovely delivery. Once again, it's Mustafizur Rahman who picks up Martin Guptill. He knew the moment he hit that shot. Easy catch for Sarkar. So, wicket taken by Mustafizur. Martin Guptill gone for 15. It's 31 for 1.
Immerse yourself in the exclusive live casino experience from William Hill. We've created 3 unique gaming destinations in Vegas, Macau, and Mayfair, with over 200 dedicated William Hill dealers. Which table will you choose? A live casino experience like no other. Download the app or visit William Hill Live Casino, online or on mobile.
New Zealand captain, who said thank you very much when the coin came down and said he could decide who does what. He said we'll bat, and he's in pretty early. He won't be on strike because they probably could have, well, they could have crossed twice actually. That ball went so high, they only crossed once. So Latham will face. Close hash, but you can see that the wicketkeeper was shooting down the leg side anyway. Now this is a very nice piece of bowling. Took the pace off it, and this went very high. And the one thing going in Soumya's favour was that it wasn't out of the big blue. That's overcast and makes those skies way easier to catch.
26 wickets in the last 9 matches that Mustafizur has played. Wicket number 27 out of Martin Guptill. He'll be disappointed with the delivery down the leg side.
Kane Williamson, an excellent average of 46. 34 times he passed 50. Around about just under 3 times. The reason he's here is because Martin Guptill hit it straight up. Mustafizur, beautiful bowling. It's just so hard to pick, and you'll hear us talk about it often because he is brilliant at it. Really important too for Bangladesh to get Martin Guptill early in this first game, because if he gets his confidence up, this is one-day side for New Zealand gets better, and he's able to carry that confidence on to every game, and everyone feeds off it. So an excellent start by Bangladesh. They'll be pleased. Yes, they gave away a couple of boundaries early on, but to pick up Martin Guptill so early.
Well, they've now got 2 accumulators in, as opposed to having a hitter and someone who would get the strike rate firing. Two players who will play the first part of this innings and play each ball on its merits, and can be contained if Bangladesh can bowl well enough.
What a good over this is turning out to be for Mustafizur and Bangladesh. It's important that he goes on. Very important to see him back in the squad and also among the wickets straight away. He's picked up a wicket. nicely set up the batsman. We saw Martin Gupta hitting him one of the top of the infield over mid-off, and then a slow delivery did the trick. It's an important period for Mustafizur as well. Look at the speeds here. 117, 131, 129 years, and then the last one also slow delivery. It's just not the slow delivery, the way he uses his wrist. It's very difficult for batsmen to realize that it can turn out to be a slow delivery.
Wow, the catcher on the leg side there, leg slip. Williamson underway quite tidily. One of his go-to shots, punch off the back foot. There you see it, delivered like a left-arm orthodox spinner would, and took all the pace off it, and it didn't arrive on Guptill. He got through the shot way too early.
Medium pace, medium bounce. First sign of aggression. Bangladesh will soon learn to Kane Williamson. If you bowl back of a length or even slightly short, that's, especially early on, he will get underway very quickly. He likes to punch off the back foot. He likes to whip through the leg side, and if you give him that back of a length, it allows him to. The teams that have been successful against him in Australia have done that well, as they look to bowl very full early on. They have mid on and mid off very straight. Maybe get him edging to slip. But he's had a nice break here in New Zealand. He's had time off.
35 for 1.
After the Sheffield-Hadley series, he's been back home, and I'm sure he would have been working hard. Kane Williamson doesn't really have time off. Local competition, he was down watching his side the Knights, and so just give him that mental break, that refresh, coming into a big New Zealand summer with Bangladesh, then Australia and South Africa. New Zealand need him at its best. Played very well for that 81 in the second ODI, but you just knew the captaincy and maybe the critique around that would have wore him out a bit. But he looked energised, he looked refreshed at the toss mark, he spoke well, he even told you the team before you asked him.
He's a professional, isn't he? He knows what's required of him in every situation of the game.
Just bounced off you, Mark, didn't he?
Well, he knew I was about to grill him on the team. Oh, he hit that well. Good stop. That would have tested third man. Yeah, I agree with you. That back of a length in one-day cricket is danger to Williamson. He'll take you there. He'll smash you through the offside. In the longer form and test match, it's not a bad ploy to bowl there, because you'll go after that shot and the red ball remaining harder often moves a bit. Often there's a bit more juice in the wicket. But on a one-day wicket where it's flatter, it's drier and skidding on. Now they're interested with that. It sounded like all pad. Remember that they have one review up their sleeve here. And this one's too much of a gamble.
He had a quick word with the keeper, Mushfiqur Rahim. Told him that he just brushed off his left thigh pad.
Sounded paddy. That soft sound certainly seemed off the front of the thigh pad. Yeah, good decision.
Runs. Should be 4 of them. No, it won't. Come back on the misfield.
Well, Bangladesh have obviously picked up something here with Kane Williamson, because they've got to leg gully it to him. They've taken him from second slip, where while it was down and it soft hand from Williamson. There's obviously been some scouting. They've worked out that Williamson likes to work the ball on the leg side. but at the cost of second slip.
Much better. Once the new batsmen come in, it's important for the bowlers to ensure that the bowl's straight, let the batsmen play each and every delivery. There's a bit of a movement available.
The feeling with the leg slip to Williamson could be that anything that's just short of a good length, the roundabout off stump on the line of the wickets, Williamson will look to get back and try to whip into the onside. So he'll try to hit it, and when you try to hit something of that length, it does carry in the air. You're not whipping that to leg slip.
No, you want to make sure the line of the delivery is nice and straight. You do not want to give width. You just hate for to be bowling out there on the edge, go through second slip, but good to see the preparations there.
It's important what the captain feels where he could have his catching man in. I really don't mind him now having that leg slip feeler coming into the second slip on the offside as well, because there is a bit of a movement, and if you draw the batsman onto the offside, onto the front foot, and there's a bit of a movement of the seam, that person might just come into play.
What was that? A little bit of cotton thread was annoying Williamson, was it?
Got to feel the bat in the hand, Mark. He'll know if there's something wrong.
Gloves weren't quite perfect. Nicely bowled. Good tidy over. Just 2 from it. 37 for 1. $37 for 1, and we'll have a change in commentary now. It'll be Scott Starris with Carl Mills and Chris Harris.
Thanks, Rickett. Good start for both sides, I would suggest so far. The Fizz back into the Bangladesh side after shoulder injury. Picked up the vital wicket of Martin Guptill. New Zealand tracking along at 5.29 runs per over as well.
So you've seen a lot of the Fizz, Scotty?
Yeah, in the IPL, he was arguably the best bowler in the IPL this past season, was good enough to keep Trent Bolt, another left-armer, of course, that we're more than familiar with here in New Zealand, out of the side for the Sunrisers Hyderabad. Normally a bit quicker than what he has shown us. 128 was that last delivery. Can get up to the 140 mark, but as you'd expect when you're coming back from a shoulder injury, it just takes some time to have some trust in your body again and build up to your work. It's an outstanding average, though, so early in your career.
Well, this is the first time I've seen him bowl. I've heard a lot about him. I've been looking forward to seeing him in action today. And from what I hear, a outstanding slower delivery.